What is poppin', my beautiful islanders? It's Sydney Island here. That's Island with the Y, not an S. And today we are going to delve into the topic of Lilith in Virgo. But before we get into it, I would like to let you all know that I made an introduction video to the Lilith series called Lilith in Astrology, and it's going to be in one of these corners. I'm not going to do the finger thing. It's going to be in this corner. It's going to be in this corner. You're going to see it and click it, okay? And in the Lilith video, I went in depth about Lilith in astrology in a deeper way than I'm going to in this video. I'm just going to brush up on Lilith, but I'm going to go deeper into how it manifests in Virgo. Also, if you were interested in getting a birth chart reading, hit me up at my name is Sydney Island now. At f.island55@yahoo.com, and also follow me on my social medias. Alright, now let's go over the poll. I always go over my polls in my astrology videos now. I put a poll in my community tab asking you all to vote, and in this poll I asked, out of these signs, which do you think is the most violent? Gemini, Taurus, Sag, and Cancer. And guess who won? Sagittarius, the only fire sign out of the bunch. So that kind of makes sense, you know. Fire signs is Sag, Leo, and Aries, by the way. Fire signs can be very aggressive and very energetic and impatient. Ooh, fire signs can be super impatient and impulsive as ever. All right, I'm not really surprised, but I'm kind of surprised because when I made this poll, I was thinking that y'all was going to pick Taurus. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was thinking they was going to pick my sign, which is Taurus, because Chris Brown is a Taurus. Sorry, Chris Brown. We know your history. But not because of Chris Brown, okay? But because Tauruses are very feisty, okay? We may be earth signs, but Tauruses have a lot of fire in us. But the second runner-up wasn't even Taurus. It was Cancer. What? Like, well, Cancer's... they could be a ticking time bomb. Like, 1 minute they're, you know, smiling and happy, and next minute they're mad, because they could be super bipolar. Taurus was third and Gemini was last. I chose all of these signs thinking that all of them are violent as hell. So it is what it is. All right, let's get into the topic of the video. Try to ignore the freaking loud birds, okay? I love birds, but not when they interrupting my goddamn video. And it still ain't a goddamn thing you could tell me to compel me something. Alright, Lilith in Virgo. Lilith in astrology is the perversion or the corruption. Damn it! Lilith in astrology is the perversion or corruption of that zodiac sign. Lilith is the dark side of your personality, and even more so the dark side of your sexuality, okay? It is where your kinky side is and your fetishes, okay? Those darker fantasies, those dark sexual fantasies that you have. So, Lilith in Virgo. Lilith in Virgo is a tricky placement to comment on, because Virgo represents the sign of the Virgin, and Lilith is the opposite of that. Okay, Lilith is supposed to be this sexually promiscuous woman who's very confident in her sexuality. So it's a little bit tricky here in this placement. It's hard to spot, all right? Because the Lilith is very subtle more often than not in a person's personality. You know, it's that aspect of your personality that's a little bit shameful, that you don't project out to people. And when you do project it out, it's in a subtle kind of way. But that being said, people who have a Lilith in Virgo can be one of the most manipulative Lilith placements there is. It's a little unexpected, but it's reality. Because they're very, very clever. Mind you, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. And these two are probably the most just intelligent, genius signs of the zodiac, okay? Mercury is all about the mind, all right? Mercury is all about communication and thought. So those who have a Lilith in Virgo can manipulate with their cleverness and their intelligence. The strength and the power to Lilith in Virgo manifests in the way that you come off like an angel. You come off as pure and innocent because you're the sign of the Virgin, Virgo the Virgin. You come off like an angel. Like someone who you can't even imagine them having sex. Someone who comes off as like a child, you know, they come off as very youthful and innocent, even if they're like 35, you know. So this is somebody that can fool you with their virgin-like appearance, but actually, secretly, they're a pervert. Yeah, You heard it right. Secretly, they're extremely sexual. And secretly, they're more sexual than you. They're dirtier than you. They're willing to get down and dirty, and they come off like the opposite. Like I'm in a pure white dress, right? But underneath, their spiritual dress is dark and dirty. Okay? They portray themselves like angels, but underneath, they're the demon. Yeah. These people have a more mental approach to sex. Okay? It's more cerebral. Okay? These people love sex just like all the Lilith. They can be very, sensual, and they have an earthy approach to sex. And like I said, a mental approach to sex. These people are very much sapiosexuals. At times, they may find it difficult to even be sexual unless they have a mental connection with that person. Or when it comes to sex, it has to somehow play with their mind, or it has to play with the mind of the person that they're having sex with. It's not just physical. Sex with Lilith and Virgo is never just about making my body feel good. It's about stimulating my mind. It's about, giving me an experience that adds more intelligence to my life, adds more sexual intelligence to my life. Sex for them is more like an experiment and a research project at times. The thing is, with people who have a Lilith and Virgo, and the people in my life, I've noticed, they do have a certain way about them where they don't come off as the most sexual, but you know that they're sexual. You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you stories about all the times they had sex. And it's just like, you don't understand. Like, you? Yes, her or him. Absolutely. And these people oftentimes have a lot of sexual confidence. They're not afraid to just have sex. It's just natural for them. These people a lot of times may have had sex at a very young age, starting off. These people lost their virginity young, maybe 13 or 14, because sex was just natural for them. They felt very close to sex. And the reason why it's hard to sometimes see these people as being sexual is because they're not very showy. They come off as very reserved, but they're also not afraid to get showy. They don't come off that way. They don't want people to perceive them like just a whore or anything like that. But they have that in them. They have the whore in them. Okay, they can hoe around. They can sleep with a lot of people. But with their Virgo energy, they're very secretive about it. So they can get away with sleeping with a bunch of people and no one ever labeling them as the whore, because no one even knows that they're doing it. They're good at hiding their whole life. Like, these people have secret whole lives that y'all will never know anything about. But the thing is that they do exude a certain sexual energy and a certain sexual charisma and confidence without coming off as slutty. So yes, these people can be very, very perverted and corrupt when it comes to sex and into some really kinky things, but they cover it up with this false sense of purity. But on the flip end of a Lilith and Virgo, these people can be afraid of sex or turned off by sex. Or someone who just has a very low sex drive and isn't really interested in having sex. This could also manifest as someone who's asexual and never ever even loses their virginity. Someone who may have a sexuality, but they lose their virginity at like 30. This could be somebody who they desire sex, but they look at it from a distance. They look at it as detached from themselves, like something that everybody else can have, but something that they just can't be a part of themselves. And this a lot of times can come from high self-criticism, thinking that their body isn't attractive enough, that they're not beautiful enough, that they just don't know how to be sexy. There's opposites to each placement, and the opposite of Lilith and Virgo is being super perverted to being a complete virgin until age 40, you know what I mean? And with this placement can develop eating disorders because these people are very hard on themselves when it comes to their physical body. Mind you, Virgo is a very physical sign, and they're very health conscious, and they're very conscious of their body. So you put it in the sign of Lilith, which is the dark side of your personality, which is all about sex and your lower chakras and your physical body. It can manifest as somebody who bodily harms, or someone who self-mutilates because they just hate their body and they don't think that they're attractive, someone who has an eating disorder and they starve themselves. And during sex, these people can be extreme perfectionists of themselves and their partner. They may be very critical of the way that their partner makes love to them, or just very self-conscious while they're making love to their partner. This could be someone who just finds it really difficult to get out of their head during sex, and just get out of their head in general, because Virgo people are known for that, of being serious overthinkers. So these people may overthink their sexuality, and they may overthink their sexual performances. Lilith and Virgo men, let's talk about that. And put it the way it fits. I'm aware that everybody's not straight, because I'm not straight. I'm not straight. Yeah, I'm bisexual. I always try to mention that in my videos, because when I say something, it's a generalization of the placement. So men who have a Lilith and Virgo may prefer women who come off as very innocent. You know, they're very sexually aroused by a woman who comes off as very youthful and pure. A woman who is the virgin. A Lilith and Virgo man may prefer to have sex with a virgin more than having sex with a woman who is experienced. He may be turned off, like completely turned off, if a girl says, I've had sex with 13 men. He may be like, 13? Holy moly, no way! You gotta be a virgin in my book. Lilith and Virgo men, they like purity, especially of the woman. They may perceive femininity as like the essence of femininity, right? They may perceive the essence of divine femininity as pure, innocent, virgin-like. And if she's not that, he don't want her. And since Lilith is a very feminine manifestation in astrology, it manifests different for women than for men. And I explained this in my Lilith and astrology video. For Lilith and Virgo women, it's going to be different. Lilith and Virgo women may prefer a man to have more experience, maybe because they don't have a lot of experience. Or she may be very much like the Lilith and Virgo man and prefer to be with a guy who's a virgin. No joke. I know some people who have this placement and who date like virgin-y kind of guys, you know. Like a Lilith and Virgo female, she may be the type to date soft guys who don't have a lot of experience. And believe it or not, this is her way of controlling him and controlling her love life and controlling her sex life, because Virgo energy is extremely controlling. You know, Virgos don't like people controlling them, and they don't like to feel out of control. Okay, that's why a lot of Virgos have obsessive compulsive disorder, because everything is about control for them. So if you have a Lilith and Virgo, you may have OCD in your sex life as well, you know. So these people, Lilith and Virgo, male or female, may prefer a partner who is innocent and who doesn't have a lot of experience. They want things to be pure. They want things to be clean. They don't want to have to worry about, you know, catching an STD or anything like that. That would just drive them crazy, because they're hypochondriacs. And when something goes wrong with their body, they're freaking out. They don't want to have to deal with that. They're very much clean. Also, during sex, these people are a type to be very picky about the places that they have sex and when they have sex. The type of people that's like, I'm not having sex until I take a shower. Don't even kiss me. I'm sweaty. I'm gross. Or like they see you sweating and they're like, I don't want to kiss you. You know what I mean? Or like you're sweating a lot during sex and they're just like, oh my gosh, we're sweating too much. Let's go take a shower in the middle of sex. You know, like these people are clean freaks, and they are very particular, and they have high standards when it comes to hygiene. Very, very much. And so when it comes to sex, that's when it usually comes out. You know what I mean? Or it just comes out when you get to know a person and you're close to this person. Lilith and Virgo people can be probably the most sneaky Lilith sign there is, because, like I said, they can be very dainty, you know? You know, Lilith and Virgo, like imagine a woman, a small woman who comes off as very pure, but she's actually insidious as hell. Okay? She's insidious AF. She has a hidden motive. With this Lilith and Virgo, she comes off as so sweet and so pure and so innocent. She's sneaky. Lilith and Virgo people can be very sneaky because they have this hidden agenda, because they're so intelligent and they know how to work it. You know what I'm saying? And they're very sensual and they're very good with touch, and they can be very clever with their words as well. Let's talk about the power of words with a Lilith and Virgo, honey. This is Mercury here. Mercury, all about words, all about communication. It's so, Lilith and Virgo people, they may really cut you with their words, like really cutthroat. A lot like a Lilith and Gemini, because Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. Lilith and Virgo people have a secret anger. I had to pause for a minute. Virgo energy in general can be mad angry, and it's like the anger that you didn't see coming. But Lilith and Virgo people can have a lot of pent up anger, and then once it like raises to the top, boom, it explodes, and they say some really harsh things that really hits you in your gut. because they're very clever and they're very observant. So you got to watch out for that. Their mouth can be really lethal. Let's also talk about the fact that Virgo rules the 6th house, which is the house of work and health and service. So Lilith in the house of work, there may be a lot of sex in the workplace. Yeah, you heard it right. There's a lot of sexual temptation in the workplace. You may be the type to have sex at work, having sex in the office, right? Your boss calls you to the office for a meeting, and next thing you know, everybody hearing some noise, scuffle, scuffle, and they walking by the office door like, is that the boss and Lucy? Oh my gosh, that's the boss and Lucy in there. Like, they're getting it in. Like, yeah. Sex in the workplace. You may end up marrying somebody that you met at work, or just having a lot of sex with somebody that you met at work. Dating a guy that you met at work. Wow. Okay. That was a really fun video. I hope that you all enjoyed this. Give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. And also check out my second channel. The link for that will be in the description box below. It's my fashion and beauty and diet and all of that good stuff and the fun story time. Yeah, I'm doing these in order. So next will be Lilith and Libra. I love you all. Bye bye. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Yeah, I need to start singing some freaking opera on my YouTube channel for real.